Hello and welcome. You're watching the Saturday edition of This Is Exclusive, where I come to you with two exclusive stories. First, it's a deep investigation that has been carried out by Republic's team of reporters. This after a case surfaced in the state of Karnataka, where land was allegedly grabbed by the Waqf board. Now, that was the trigger point of the investigation that has been carried out by the team of reporters of Republic TV, where we essentially found out that this is not an isolated case. It is not just about the state of Karnataka, where you've had a section of villagers raising concerns about how their land is allegedly being usurped by the Waqf board. It turns out that a similar pattern, a common thread across several states, similar concerns that are now being raised. That is the reason why there is a growing chorus, and that chorus is Bring the Waqf Amendment Bill. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on This is Exclusive, we not only put the focus on the deep investigation that has been carried out on the issue of Waqf, but the other international story really brewing tonight is the retaliatory strikes that have been carried out by Israel. Republic TV, the only Indian news channel to get you both sides. Reports coming in from Tel Aviv as well as Tehran. All this and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive. But up first, let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Nationwide emergency over Waqf arbitrarily claiming land after Karnataka. Now Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra reports similar cases.
हिंदू समाज की एकता ये संघ के जीवन व्रत है। हम इसका आग्रहपूर्वक कहेंगे और उसके लिए करेंगे भी। और हिंदू एकता लोक कल्याण के लिए है। हिंदू सबके लिए सुख प्रदान करेगा।
General Secretary of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, Dattatreya Hosbalim, backs for Hindu unity, says there are efforts to divide Hindus. Trouble mounts for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Lokayukta officials expected to summon him soon in the Muda scam case. Amid targeted attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh, Hindus hold a massive rally in Chittagong demanding minority rights. Israel pounds Iranian military targets. Two soldiers killed. Iranian sources say country prepared to respond to Israeli aggression. Late last evening, Republic TV brought to you the story of how villages in one district in Karnataka were being cornered by the Waqf board, and it turns out that the government was hand in gloves. It was the starting point of an investigation that has now been carried out by multiple reporters of the Republic Network, bringing together stories from Jammu and Kashmir all the way to Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, as well as Maharashtra, giving you a sense of what really is happening as far as Waqf land is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, as far as Waqf is concerned, they happen to be one of the largest land owners in the country. They're holding land, and remember, this is something way more than even the Indian Railways, and for that matter, several other institutions in the country. So they have in their land bank, which happens to be one of the largest in the country. How exactly all of this is possible? Is this for some sort of philanthropic work that they're essentially doing? It turns out no. There are some bizarre claims that have been made. Over the last few days, there have been multiple statements that have been made by the political leaders, starting with AIUDF Chief Badruddin Ajbal, who made that bizarre claim that even the parliament is on Waqf land. It turns out that these are the similar kind of statements that have been made by the Waqf board in several other states. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we take you through these reports filed by our reporters from across the country, telling you the magnitude of this problem and why people are now demanding that the amendment should be brought in and there should be sweeping changes as far as the management of Waqf board is concerned. There should be some accountability is what many are now claiming. Take a look at this report.
There is a Waqf emergency across the country. Temples, villages, government buildings, nothing is off limit for the Waqf board's audacious land grab. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Republic's investigation exposes Waqf's land grab inch by inch, acre by acre. Here's a report on how the Waqf board has forcefully acquired everything in its wake across the nation. It is alleged that the Waqf has laid claim to multiple land and properties in Lucknow. According to sources, the properties for which the Waqf is claiming ownership rights includes a 250-year-old Hindu temple.
After 2016, suddenly Waqf board started claiming its own property to that land. That's what local residents are saying. They're very angry on this. They are very upset with this. And even the important most part is that the Muslim family who went against Waqf board to the court to establish that's not a Waqf board's property, but it's a property of Hindu temple. They are fighting this case against Waqf board.
There is no end to Waqf land loot. After alleged land grab attempts by the Waqf board in Lucknow, a Hindu family has now claimed that they were asked to vacate their Jammu residence.
मैं कह सकता हूँ कि इनका गुनाह ये है कि ये गरीब हैं, ये यहाँ पर अपनी कोठी नहीं बना सके क्योंकि शुरू से जो 1947 में और भी फैमिलीज रह रही थी जिनको जो वाकफ में रह रहे थे उन्होंने पक्के मकान बनाए, फिर 2-2, 3-3 मंजिला बनाए, उनके परिवार आगे बढ़ते गए। लेकिन ये एक गरीब फैमिली थी जो आगे अपने आप को इतने सक्षम नहीं अपने आप को पा सकी कि ये अपना मकान यहाँ पे बना सके।
In Maharashtra's Ahmednagar, the iconic Kanifath temple, standing tall for decades, sacred to thousands, is also one of the properties allegedly grabbed by the Waqf board. This historic temple, revered by the Hindu community, has been battling an outrageous takeover bid since 2005.
There were people who started residing out here, and a specific community had started residing out here in the Guha village, and ultimately an attempt was made to in fact destroy the evidences.
उनको ना ये जो जगह है वो वक्त में लेने का था, उस वो ट्रस्ट को जब तक ग्राम पंचायत से लीगली परमिशन नहीं मिलता तब तक ये जगह वक्त में ट्रांसफर नहीं हो।
In Madhya Pradesh, the Waqf has claimed unpaid rent for a piece of land it claimed was leased out for building the Aishbagh police station in Bhopal. Police station, hospital and much more. The Waqf claims it all.
ये वक्फ का ये कहना है कि उन्हें इन बिल्डिंग को जहां पर ये पीएचक्यू में जो पुलिस मुख्यालय जो है ये संचालित हो रहा है इसके बदले में वक्फ बोर्ड को किराया मिलना चाहिए, लेकिन वो नहीं मिल रहा है। इसी तरह के विवाद कोर्ट में लंबित है और वक्फ बोर्ड ये दावा भी करता है कि कोर्ट उनके पक्ष में फैसला सुनाएगा, लेकिन हम आपको जो बताना चाह रहे हैं वो ये कि 47 ऐसी प्रॉपर्टी हैं जिस पर कि वक्फ के दावे हैं। उनका ये कहना है कि ये जो जगह है ये उनकी है और इसलिए बदले में उन्हें किराया मिलना चाहिए।
In Karnataka, the farmers are up in arms as Waqf board has claimed that the land parcel stretching up to 15,000 acres is theirs. This has enraged the farmers and the free run was given allegedly by the Congress ministers.
फार्मर्स के बारे में अगर उनको ध्यान होता, फार्मर्स को ये लोग अन्याय कर रहे बोले तो वो मीटिंग में आना चाहिए था, मीटिंग में आके आवाज उठाना चाहिए था। अभी 3 दिन के बाद आके 3 दिन के बाद आके बोले ये कोसा है ये।
सर फिलहाल नोटिस इशू हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ?
सर नोटिस 6 मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ये वक्फ अदालत है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट आदेश है, वन वक्फ इट इज वक्फ।
There are Waqf properties which are enclosed, right? Fully he has done his department work. But I am telling you as a district in charge minister, I am telling you that whosoever land, farmers or anybody which does not belong to Waqf, Not even 1 millimeter will be touched.
Nothing is off limits for the Waqf board. Even churches and the homes of locals are under siege from its unyielding land claims. Here's a case from Kerala that reveals just how far these claims have gone.
Many of them are absolutely concerned about the impact of it, and they also believe that the solution will come from the Joint Parliamentary Committee resolution and also the amendment that will be made.
The amendments brought there, no normal person with any common sense would accept such amendments, because those laws are draconian in the sense, why would somebody can just come and claim your property just because they sat there for 2 hours or half a day? They can come and say, oh, this land belongs to me.
ये जो विवादास्पद बोल रहे हैं आप, बेंगलुरु का जो लैंड्स कर्नाटका, उतना ही नहीं है, देश भर में अलग अलग जगह वक्फ नाम पर जो पट्टा लैंड्स हो, ओन लैंड्स में के ऊपर भी ये वक्फ नाम पर रिकॉर्ड डालकर लोगों को सताते बहुत सालों से.
The question remains, how many more temples, villages and government properties will fall prey to this relentless land grab? Is there a deliberate silence on this alarming takeover?
Now let's tell you what's the current situation and whether at all there has been any sort of resolution. Here are the reporters who have got us these reports, starting with Gursimran from Jammu. Then we'll move to Sandeep, who's joining us from Ahmednagar in Maharashtra. Ajay Dubey, who's got us that report from Lucknow. And Ashwin, who's got us that report from Munnabam in Kerala. First to you, Gursimran. What's the current situation as far as the report that you have filed? Has the government really intervened? Is there any solution? The same question goes to everyone in terms of what's really happening in the area from where the report has been filed.
Sishavan, for now there has not been any intervention by the Waqf board or by the Jammu and Kashmir government with regards to the apathy that we have seen, that how the family, the Hindu family is forced to leave the land of the Waqf that they have been living in for more than 7 decades. So they have said that their ancestors were living in the area, they have been living in this same area, but now all of a sudden the officials from the Waqf board, without serving any of the notice to the family, they have been asked to vacate as soon as they can and they be moved to a place that is in the outskirts, some 20 to 25 kilometers from the place where they are actually living in. They are saying that not only their livelihood but also the schools of their children, everything is here, and they cannot go all of a sudden to a place where they do not have any shelter to live in. They said that their resources are also limited and they do not have even a single penny to invest in constructing their home at a new place. And also the lady Rani Devi, who has lost her husband and also her younger son, who was only source of her income, she is also shattered completely because she do not know what to do. The BJP is saying that this is being done deliberately ahead of the amendment of the Waqf board laws, reason being that this is an attempt to install the Muslim families in the area so that once the amendment is done, the benefit can be given to the Muslim families. But these Hindu family, this is completely shattered because all of a sudden hell has fallen on them as they do not know where to go and what lies next for them, Shavan.
Well, in fact, let me quickly move to my colleague Sandeep, who's joining us from Ahmednagar right now, getting us the latest details. Sandeep, with regards to the temple land that is now disputed with the Waqf board essentially claiming that it belongs to the dargah, what's the latest that you're picking up?
See, as far as the history of that very location is concerned, remember the Kanafnath temple belonged to Shankar Bhai and his wife, and that was sanctioned before the British era, in fact, Shavan, and the Hindu community have all the papers regarding this, following which a conversion took place, and now Shankar Bhai and his family members were converted from Hindus to Muslims. Now, as per the Waqf law, anyone can donate the land who is from Muslim community, but ultimately when they tried to sell that very land and when they went into the court said that the family members are the caretakers of that very land and they cannot sell, neither they can do any, development on that very land. But ultimately, by the time passed, in 2005, the Muslim community and the illegal resident residing near the temple
we seem to be losing that line with Sandeep. We'll try and reconnect. Let's also quickly move across to Kerala from my colleague Ashwin is sending us that report from Munnabam. Ashwin, there is a larger story that basically emerges from the state of Kerala, because it turns out that there are multiple petitions that have already been filed, and there is a larger story that is emerging. What is it that you can tell our viewers right now?
Sure. Of the Waqf board, the documents that I have, that Republic has access. When we've got about hundreds of these pages, and one of the startling revelation was that the entire movement, in fact, started of claiming this land began when the PFI mouthpiece, a newspaper called as Tejas, which is now not in circulation, it stopped in 2018. However, a series of such Waqf claim was done by this PFI mouthpiece back in 2008. Based on this, an entire movement had started. Today, as per the following the mouthpiece direction, what we see is that 30,000 acres have now been claimed by the Waqf board. Now, that is one of the most shocking fact in this entire matter, that the inspiration for claiming this land comes from the PFI mouthpiece, a large series which they did, stating that such parcels of land across the state of Kerala comes from our part of Waqf board. Now there are at least 14 cases.
We seem to be again losing out with Ashwin too with the audio line. We'll try and reconnect with him in a short while from now. Let's move to Uttar Pradesh, where my colleague Ajay Dubey has got us this report from Lucknow, where you have a temple land which has now been claimed by the Waqf. Ajay, what more details are you picking up in terms of the litigation that has essentially taken place in this case?
Shravan, it's a very surprising story from Lucknow. It's a 250 years old temple. This temple is very old, and this Kubde Baba Mandir, this person who established this temple, it's 250 years old story, and the local residents, they are telling they got to know post 2016 that this premises is related with Waqf. Waqf is claiming that this is their property. So local residents are very angry, and one more interesting part of this story is that the family, a Muslim family, a father and his daughter, they went to court against Waqf board, claiming the legal documents that this is the property of Hindu religion. This is the property of Kubde Baba legacy. So right now, in a legal terms, this is happening in court right now. This Muslim family is fighting against Waqf board. But the important part is that it's a 250 years old temple. How can Waqf claim it as their own property? That's what residents of local area asking this question.
Well, thank you very much, Ajay. I'll just request you to stay on with us as we also now shift focus to Hyderabad. In the outskirts of Hyderabad is yet another case where you have land that has been allegedly usurped by the Waqf board. Now, the dichotomy here being that you have the same very land where people are now paying taxes for a very long period of time. In fact, a document that has been accessed by Republic TV goes on to indicate that Waqf land grab that's essentially taking place. In fact, this is coming in from the outskirts of Hyderabad, which is roughly about a few hours drive from Hyderabad, where Waqf essentially claims that multiple properties actually belong to them. It turns out that residents of that area who've spoken to my colleague Aneri say that they have been paying taxes and municipal taxes all this while. So how exactly does the Waqf essentially claim that it belongs to them? I'll go across to my colleague Aneri, who can perhaps also show us the documents. Aneri, if you have the document with you, why don't you help us understand what is it that the residents are claiming and what's the position that the Waqf has essentially taken, while we also show the report that Aneri filed a short while back.
That's right, Chavan. But definitely shocking details which we have been seeing coming from Boduppal area of Hyderabad, which is like in outskirts area. And also at the same time, we have got that document. We'll just try and get that document once again with us. We also have people there, near about 10,000 residents who have been staying. There are 10,000 houses in this particular area. And also at the same time, we have been seeing that the Waqf has claimed near about 37 survey numbers are being claimed by the Waqf. And also we'll just try and get a word from people here. You have been staying here. आप कितने टाइम से यहाँ पे रह रहे हैं और वक्फ बोर्ड जो है वो कब से ये प्रॉपर्टी को क्लेम कर रहा है?
मैडम मैं 10 ईयर से इधर रह रहा हूँ. मैं कॉलोनी में श्री सैनार कॉलोनी में रह रहा हूँ. मेरा कॉलोनी में लगभग 300 पीपल स्टे है मैडम. अभी 10,000 लोग हो गया है वक्फ बोर्ड में. लेकिन हम परचेस करने के टाइम पे बिफोर वी हैव सीन ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स थ्रू रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिस ईसी ऑल क्लियर मैडम. एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन आल्सो डन वेरी वेल. एंड वी हैव कंस्ट्रक्शन G+2 and 3, 4 like that. We have commissioner also given the permissions, and RDO office from they have given permissions. And
you have got permission from the municipality,
yes.
But now Waqf is claiming is what?
Yes, madam. The 1989 gazette they are showing one gazette. The government should have done mistake, I think so, but they are not ratifying that gazette. But the people are suffering. 10,000 families are suffering now, and they are came on road. But we are trying to all departments we have gone through, madam. We have went.
So, Shavan, as you can see, this is the very document which I have in my hand. This is the Andhra Pradesh Gazette 1989 Gazette, also 1989 Gazette, and also this mentions the survey numbers. I'll ask my video journalist to just pan around and show that these are the survey numbers which are mentioned, and also this claims that this is the Waqf property. As you can see here, it is mentioned that the details of the Waqf property attached to Waqf is what this document shows. So near about a total of 37 survey numbers are mentioned. So that means that there are around 10,000 residents who are staying in this area, but they also say that they are paying property tax, and also municipality tax is being paid by them since the time of their registration. It's been around a decade that they have been staying here. We'll just try and get a word from one more resident who is with us. So what do you have to say, because the Waqf is claiming the properties here, but you all here say that you are paying property tax?
True, ma'am. Ma'am, we have got MRO report which says from 1954 Khasra Pani. It is not a Waqf property. They have given in clearly who are the pattedars and names of the pattedars. Then we approach SRO. SRO, Sub-Registrar Office. Surprisingly, they have given a letter saying it is not included in 22A section, which is a mandatory section for prohibition of any land. And it is not included. And on an oral instruction, they have stopped the registration. We have approached PMO, we have approached Central Work Commission when Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi sir was there. We have communicated the letters to Waqf Board just with one geo. And very surprising, madam, in 1977, district registrar has given us occupancy right certificate. The surprising fact is, after 1977, after 12 years of that is 1989, Waqf Board has issued a geo. How come a pattedar occupancy right certificate issued by DRO is become a Waqf Board property now? And we have taken legal advice before, madam, whatever is required to buy a plot, before whatever survey has to be done, we have done all that, madam. Like EC, we have taken encumbrance certificate of 30 years. We have linked documents before we bought the plot. And surprisingly, they are saying that it is pattedar property. This is 1977 ORC copy, sir. And surprisingly, after that, they have claimed that it is Waqf property. And with just one geo.
Since when are they claiming that it's Waqf property?
2018 they have issued a geo. Surprisingly, madam, prior to that they should have asked that it is our property. And you will be surprised, ma'am, the roads, colonies, everything has been developed. This was actually Gram Panchayat. From Gram Panchayat it has become municipality. And then from municipality to become municipal corporation. And along with that, the roads, everything has been developed, people have developed. Now they say it is Waqf property.
So Shravan, as you can see very clearly here, there are people who say that they are paying property tax, but they are near about 37 survey numbers which are being claimed by the Waqf board, and they also the residents here have approached the government as well, the previous government, that's the BRS government, and also the current government of the Congress party, the Congress government here in the state, and also at the same time they have approached the central government as well. But now the people here say that since 2018, the Waqf is claiming these properties to be allegedly theirs, but then they say that they are not able to either sell the property or also they are not able to get any sort of development works in this particular area, is what the residents have to say here.
Well, thank you very much, Aneri. In fact, this report that Aneri has essentially filed is from the outskirts of Hyderabad, and acres being claimed by the Waqf board. Similar is the situation from the other states too. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this deep investigation that's been carried out by the team of Republic reporters essentially indicate what's really happening on the ground. And not just one state. It's not just in the state of Karnataka. We've seen several complaints being filed from other states too. And that is exactly why, once again, the government basically emphasizing the need for bringing in the amendment. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. We'll be back tomorrow with more exclusive stories.